And we begin 5 Live today with a big India Today scoop. At the peak of the India-China face-off in Ladakh, as part of a stream of propaganda videos, the Chinese army had shown how their troops are served by cargo drones transporting hot meals, equipment, weapons, clothes, blankets, right to them in their frontline positions in the heights of Ladakh. The Indian army never had that kind of drone capability until now. And we've got the first images of the Indian Army's brand new cargo drones that will be deployed in Ladakh and be of service to our troops right on the front lines.
Hot meals delivered by a swarm of drones to Chinese soldiers at high altitude. A propaganda video that was released at the peak of the India-China standoff in Ladakh. A move by China to taunt India and highlight India's lack of such a capability. And while the Chinese were certainly right, India has taken the taunt constructively. And Battlecry has the exclusive scoop on how India has reacted. What you're looking at here is a fully made-in-India cargo drone for high-altitude troops, seen here being tested in the forbidding terrain of Ladakh. 48 of these drones have just been ordered by the Indian Army in a milestone fast-track contract to Indian firm Rafe M-Fiber. These drones, called MR-20, are capable of carrying loads of up to 20 kilograms and in thin air of extreme high altitude, that's a huge amount. Operating individually or in groups, each drone can carry items that include food, fuel, medical supplies, emergency equipment, weapons, ammunition, and anything else that troops may require in forward areas in high altitude. The use of these drones will also drastically cut down the need for helicopter flights that are inherently risky to pilots. And unmanned drones mean more deliveries can be conducted per day with no crew fatigue. The utility of such drones is not difficult to imagine. And with a startup fleet of 48, the Indian Army will be able to serve several forward posts with items they need, forming a robust air bridge that becomes a powerful supply chain. The MR-20 drones will begin deliveries shortly to the Indian Army. The company that makes them is among a slew of cutting-edge firms serving the needs of a future battlefield and is working closely with the Army to get set for a new paradigm in military logistics. Drones for delivery will soon be a part of daily life, with companies like Amazon, FedEx and UPS embracing such technology for a new delivery mantra. And while Ladakh will be the first playground for this new capability, expect cargo drones to spread wide in the armed forces in the months and years ahead. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's just show you the two drones, the Chinese drones that were used in a propaganda video at the peak of the entire standoff last year, and on your screen now, apologize for the delay, the Indian drones. There you go. Two pictures on your screen showing you what the Chinese have, what they tried to use in their propaganda video in an effort to highlight what India doesn't have, and on the right side of your screen, the Indian drones being tested in Ladakh. 48 of those drones have now been ordered by the Indian Army and they will be deployed there very soon. A small number of them are already being tested in cargo operations. I want to go across now to Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, he's former Chief of Staff of the 14 Corps in Leh Ladakh, also DG Infantry, a person who has extensive experience at high altitudes. He's one of the first officers, in fact the first officer to land in Siachen during Operation Meghdoot, a highly decorated soldier and officer, a privilege always. Welcome, General Kulkarni. Thank you for being with me here on India Today.
Thank you.
Amazing images on our screen right now. What we've got are the first images, General Kulkarni, of cargo drones. You know, high performance, heavy duty cargo drones that will be deployed very soon in Ladakh. What kind of a difference will this make? You give us the soldier's perspective, sir.
Chef, thank you very much, firstly. And let me be telling you that it's a paradigm shift in logistics support.
Yeah.
It raises the morale because the last mile, a minute connectivity that can actually enhance primarily at places like this where batteries can lose a lot of its, it goes to 50% of its power. And therefore, the requirement of batteries is tremendous. Even medicines, at a point of time, there could be, the doctors could be on link with you on the telephone. There could be telemedicine. But here, the delivery is being made and the distance is being covered. You can safely save it 5 to 7 minutes, depending upon where it is coming to you from, about 3 to 5 kilometers. I think it's perfect. There could be better things than this because the successful trial has been carried out. Tremendously morale boosting in bad weather conditions, nighttime capability. It can land, it can drop, it can retrieve itself, it can go back. I tell you, it cannot be imagined where it can save lives and also enhance capacities because, as I said, batteries is one thing. It loses power very, very fast in this kind of high altitude. And therefore, I personally would say medicines, batteries, connectivities, and anything and everything that you ask for, it is available. And that last minute, you just have to give a call and you say, this is what I want. You can well imagine. Otherwise, it would have taken hours or even maybe the next day it would come. Here, it's going to be within minutes, it would be delivered. You'll be saving lives, number one. You'll be enhancing and ensuring 24/7 surveillance should the batteries fail. Sure.
Absolutely. And General Kulkarni, doesn't this also, apart from very timely deliveries to troops at high altitudes in the forward areas, the last mile as you called it, doesn't this also cut down the risk of, chopper flights that will be required, otherwise? I'm guessing that in your time, it was helicopters that were the only means of delivering goods to troops like yourselves on the front lines. And now with these drones, these risky chopper flights don't have to be undertaken or have to be undertaken much less.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. Bang on ship, primarily because of the kind of weather it doesn't permit. And most of the times, the choppers sometimes may not be able to take off at beyond 12 o'clock, noon, the kind of hot weather atmospheres created, choppers don't fly. Such restrictions do not apply to these cargo drones. And therefore, it's almost you're connected. What were the choppers coming for? Delivering most of the time. Or maybe sometimes passengers being traveled or maybe evacuation of casualties that will be taking place. But at this point of time, when on odd hours, bad weather conditions, absolutely very, very cold, when choppers can't take off for reasons best known, then that is the time when you find these drones, these cargo drones, capability 20 kg, being able to supply batteries, medicines, ammunition. You ask for it and anything that would be required at the last minute. Otherwise, you would be waiting for the next day. And at nights, generally, choppers don't fly. Even beyond 12 o'clock, also sometimes there are restrictions for choppers to fly. Here, there are no restrictions whatsoever. And you get it. Just see the morale boosting here. Tremendous morale boosting factor that these cargo drones are going to do. It's a paradigm shift in logistics support for the armed forces and the kind of area that we're delivering, even from one post to the other post, even from the main supply line delivering, that last mile connectivity that is required to be able to deliver. Even if it doesn't go right there, it just drops 5 minutes away from where you are. What better things one can ask for? I think it's going to be a real paradigm shift, number one. Number two, a big morale boosting factor, which is absolutely essential at that point of time. Even small gifts could be delivered to someone on his birthday or something like that, to boost the morale or anything on everything, because those boys are really disconnected and at places where it's very difficult to go there. Such cargo drones are going to really be a big I would say, not just a game changer, a paradigm shift in logistics support and thinking that such things are available at even now in our own country, how modernized that is what we are. We also are going to be feeling the same.
Thank you very much, General Kulkarni, for your wisdom on this. Cutting-edge technology, a paradigm shift as far as military logistics is concerned. It's not always just about the weapons and equipment. It's about how your troops are supplied with the equipment they need the most. It can be anything from a hot meal to a mobile tower, to a mobile handset, to satellite imagery, to intelligence, to rations, to weapons, to ammunition. It could be anything. And each of those drones can carry 20 kilograms worth of weight. And in the rarefied thin air of Ladakh, 20 kilograms is a lot. 48 drones, 20 kilograms each. You do the math on how useful that's going to be for our troops on the ground in Ladakh. Well, all this and much more will be covered in detail in our show Battle Cry. We've got a special coming up called the Desi Drone Dhamaka, because this contract for cargo drones is one among a slew of drone contracts that the Indian Army has awarded to Indian companies. All of these drones, you'll be very happy to know, ladies and gentlemen, are made, developed and contracted right here in India, not purchased from abroad as we usually do. Well, continuing with India's mega drone dhamaka, the Indian Army, apart from those cargo drones, has also ordered 100 Sky Striker drones. These are hunter-killer kamikaze drones that are made in India once again, not from abroad, but made right here in India with Israeli technology, and are built to take off, cruise, autonomously hunt for targets as far as 20 kilometers away and then destroy them. Here's a closer look at these lethal drones.
A tiny drone is launched into the air. It cruises stealthily into enemy territory. Switching on its camera, it searches and tracks. And when it finally has enough information, the drone transforms into a missile. Falling silently out of the sky, it smashes into the target, destroying it. You've just seen a single mission by a Sky Striker, a mini drone. And it's the latest strike weapon purchased by the Indian Army. Over 100 of these Sky Strikers will be built in India by Indian firm Alpha Design through its joint venture with Israeli company Elbit. The Made in India drones will begin deliveries as early as next year. The Sky Striker is designed for long-range precision strikes of more than 20 kilometers, can loiter over a target for over 2 hours. The Sky Striker can be given pre-designated targets. It can also autonomously hunt targets. The Sky Striker is similar in mission to the Israeli Harop loitering munition in service with the Indian Air Force, though the latter has a hugely greater range and endurance and has a much more strategic mission compared to the Sky Striker, which is designed for nearby targets that could be just across the border. Sky Striker could be launched by Indian Army's infantry or special forces units to silently hit Pakistani terror launch pads or suspicious movement across the line of control. The fact that the drone have daylight cameras make them super useful for strike missions after dusk. And with over 100 launch pads still active in the area, there is no shortage of potential targets. While the use of weaponized loitering drones carries its own risks and depends entirely on solid target intelligence, the very fact that the Indian Army has chosen such a weapon speaks volumes about the missions it wants to be ready for. Bureau Report, India Today.